All right, everyone, we have made it here to game number 5, the final one of them all here in your finals of the HoN FoC tournament number 1. Where we have What is Your Education on the Legion side, once again taking on Hmnos Yaipen, also known as Bot, on the Hellborn side. And what you got rejoined here by FoC for this final game. This is where it all comes down, FoC. Who will win game 5 and the series and be crowned the champion?
Will I be right or will you be right? That's the question.
We're both wrong. We predicted 3-0 and 3-1. Nothing matters anymore.
Well, I mean, when you put it like that, I guess you're right. But we were still rooting for different teams. It's been a great series so far. Let's see what they have in store for us.
I'm pretty excited to see what they will try to do here in the last one. But first, we got to go through the bans to get there. Sapphire, Engineer, and Electrician banned from the Legion side. Monarch, Keeper of the Forest, and Bushwhack banned from the Hellborn side.
I'm just psyched to see the Bushwhack getting banned again. And I'm curious about the Electrician ban. I don't think they've banned this here previously, and I don't really know if there is anyone inside of Bot that actually plays that hero.
They go with the first pick Demented Shaman. We've been seeing a lot of that so far in this series. But the Electrician ban, I think, and maybe the Engineer ban, but not really, because we saw the power of the Engineer paired with the Flux last game.
I think they recognize it. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that Engineer is the first phase material ban, first phase ban material. So it definitely makes sense to ban it. Especially, they actually steal the Hammerstorm from the side of yeah.
They're gonna play the hammer for the first time themselves, and they're gonna pair it with a Riftwalker. So they have some damage to assist with the hammer throw.
I actually kind of like that. I think the Hammerstorm's stun into with the Riftwalker nuke, it actually kind of secures you kills in the lane a lot more than just having like 3 stuns or so.
Yeah, because the hammer by himself doesn't really do a whole lot. Once he throws the hammer, because he needs to run up and get in range to start smacking as a melee hero. Kind of waits for his range supports to like hold them in place or output some damage themselves. I like it. I like the Riftwalker pick.
Do you think that what is your education, son? Do you think they could steal the Moon Queen from in this game? Because it does seem like some of the heroes they do look like they perform pretty well with the Moon Queen here. So I would assume
they definitely could.
So they chose to go for the Prisoner. I suppose they're trying to keep their options open when it comes to carry and not get counterpicked too hard. I would assume that they're going to run Prisoner the same way that they ran him previously, where he's a position 4. Pretty well with the Diminished Shaman as well. You have the Q, what's it called? The Entangle setup for the old ball and chain.
Old ball and chain.
And it's also just both heroes are physical with the Diminished Shaman kind of amplifying the damage of Prisoner. I kind of like this setup here. I think it was something that they ran similarly earlier on. They kind of had these 3 heroes with the self-4s as well as the Bushwhack. In the second game, I think it was, or third game.
I love the combo of Shaman paired with the Pharaoh. Just hold them down in place, drop a heal bomb, and that typically ends up being tons of damage. It's really nice synergy between the two. And you already pointed out the Prisoner with the Demented as well. Good for both laning and amplified damage for team fights.
I think they're, from what I can see so far in their draft, I think they're looking for range carry. I think Moon Queen probably wouldn't be like an awful option. What other range carriers do you think they could choose to like opt for, like a Forsaken Archer or something?
I think so. I think they could run.
I kind of like FA here. It's not.
I think they could run an FA.
I don't think I've seen a lot of Forsaken Archer in this tournament in particular, but I think Forsaken Archer does pretty well in this draft here.
I want to see some Clanks.
Oh yeah, that's actually an option too. I feel like Clanks would be decent too. Clanks is really good against Hammerstorm in general, because you're at least like in the later stages of the game when you can stay really far back and you're kind of standing in some positions where it's really hard for the Hammerstorm to engage you. From my experience at least. I feel like
I'm a Clanks enjoyer. I don't like to face it though. It beat me too many times in tournaments. I'm a little
Yeah.
salty still about that, but
Yeah,
that's way back in the days.
I also hate using clanks.
That's way back in the days.
It's easy to deal with clanks until it's not. You know, at some point, sometimes you just, the Riptide and okay, it's a Riptide middle lane. They really need a
lot of
backline.
physical. That's a lot of physical damage.
I think
I'd like to see them balance that out with some magic presence now on the last pick.
I think they need like some. I don't.
Ooh, more physical. I mean, good synergy between all the heroes, but whenever I see lineups like this, green triangle starts to look really appealing. That's Void Talisman for anyone who didn't catch the joke.
I thought it was concede button, but
no, green triangle is a joke for Void Talisman.
I got you.
Yeah, so they have a little bit too much physical presence on their team, but could make it work. The silhouette is kind of good at being evasive toward the Hammer Storm. Naturally builds a Nullstone as like a primary item, and can swap around and kite the hammers, which is like how you typically want to deal with a hammer. So I like the silhouette personally.
Okay, you like it. I think I probably personally would have preferred another carry.
Clanks.
Clank. I don't hate the silhouette, but I just feel like she's a little bit of a shake viewer when it comes to competitive. And I also I'm a bit concerned that the Hammer Storm might just, if he has a good start, he just runs into the silhouette, doesn't really care about her, and just runs over. She's not really the type of hero that can like easily man up against the Hammer Storm.
Yeah, they have a pretty good team at like maybe catching her if they can initiate with like a rocket drill into like a wormhole or even a kinesis lift. They have lots of catch, I would say, pre-Nullstone and maybe even later on.
Actually, I think it might be Riftwalker mid lane here. I think the Riftwalker mid lane should be decent against Riptide. You can just kind of shove out the way with your nuke, and you don't really care about his.
You mean Kinesis? Because the Riftwalker is their main support player.
Oh, okay. Then I'm mistaken. I'm not sure that
I know the players a little bit, so I can tell you for sure he's their support player.
No, you're right.
Kirby, who's Kinesis, will probably be playing mid or core Kinesis this game.
I'm just afraid that the Kinesis going up against the Riptide mid lane is going to have a hard time owners of one.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how that matchup goes because heroes that really don't have like a lot of auto attack tend to struggle against Riptide, but he also has like a lot of nukes, which he could maybe push the Riptide out of the lane.
Yeah, actually, that's true. I have played like Riptide myself previously, where I like didn't really buy enough region, and you went up like against some kind of range here with a lot of nukes, and sometimes you can just end up not really being able to like actually deny creeps because you're just getting constantly harassed. I was just thinking that the Riftwalker kind of has the the option just to just drop down the Rift Burn constantly on the creep waves, whereas Riftwalker the Riptide can't really deny every creep wave when there's the Rift Burn pushing out the lane constantly. So and then you could run the Kinesis in the tri-lane to steal the Prisoner Hook, to have some kind of counter.
Yeah, that all makes a lot of sense. So I think like the big strength of the Riptide is he has lots of armor because he gets agi from his In My Element. So he's very tanky, but he's very susceptible to playing against nukers in 1v1 lane. So going up against a Kinesis, he can steal the Watery Grave, which is actually a very high damage nuke spell. It's for a single target spell. It scales very high in terms of damage output.
But I'm just considering if it's better just to max out the telekinetic control.
Probably is, to just max out the damage output of the throws.
Yeah, I think it might just be it's probably going to be more damage in general. Looking at the heroes on Legion side, there's not really that many good spells you can steal across. Like, I mean, I guess there's the Prisoner Hook, so you kind of rely on getting the Prisoner Hook. But outside of that, it's like a Hellfire, it's like a Water Grave, it's a Tangle, and it's a Death Lotus. Those are pretty weak abilities in general. At least I feel like for Kinesis to steal. Or am I mistaken?
I think the hook is great, but other than that, most of them are not the best. Like the Entangle's okay, but when you're level 6, you have the big single target ultimate lockdown anyway. It's kind of like redundant. You'd rather have like a like a pyro nuke or like a scout invis to like surprise jump people or something like that. Obviously a Magnus Stun is probably one of the better ones that most people would mention, but Stuff
So
like that.
they're actually choosing to run a dual lane on the long lane here. Again, I just don't understand it. It's obviously like a prisoner is going to be sitting with like a tri lane on the safe lane, so I just don't really see the big desire in trying to run a dual lane into it. I feel like they'd just be better off investing in a Andromeda middle lane just to shut down the Riptide from farming. This just seems like you're kind of putting pressure on an issue that's just too big for you to deal with. You're just going to end up finding yourself under the tower once you try to challenge the tri lane.
This should be a tough lane for Pharaoh in the top lane. Hammer sets up nicely for the Rift Burn, and then Pharaoh doesn't really want to wall anyone inside Rift Burn. That's going to be pretty hard for him to sit and take all that damage.
Yeah, and personally, I don't even feel like Silhouette is like one of those heroes where you're like really scared that she free farms early on. Like, obviously, if she farms like continuously throughout the game, but I've had a lot of games where you just allow that Silhouette to farm, but it's not like a ticking bomb compared to a lot of other heroes, I feel.
No, definitely different scare factors like a Moon Queen with free farm.
Yeah.
Well, Prisoner stacked some camps already. I guess he was having a hard time getting a gank attempt off level 1. Maybe they even want the level 2 before they go for a kill. So Silhouette has a tree grapple. Suspect the salvo level 1 pretty normal. And perhaps the Load and the Andromeda are playing relatively safe. They had a Ward of Sight down from the Andromeda on the side of the lane there. Prisoner might take his business elsewhere to the mid lane. Kinesis is a bit more of a vulnerable target to a gank.
So currently it seems like the Riptide is actually winning the lane pretty significantly.
A lot of pressure on the Silhouette. It's the Bloodlust. Wow, level 2 on both heroes is enough damage. Okay. They burned through 549 HP of the Silhouette.
Guess I was wrong after all.
Lodestone Andro. Big damage coming in. Yeah, and that was with Shaman there to try to keep him alive.
So the Lodestone opted to go for shield, which means that he can actually skip his plates early on and just go for the more like aggressive route, which actually kind of makes sense in my mind. That if you want to dual lane it, you can't really play too passively with plates. So
he could always sell it later too, right? He could just wait till he wants to skill the plates and then sell the shield for. I think
he might buy the talisman here because he has the Nihil crystal. Of course, it's not guaranteed, but it could be. Oh, that's a nice dodge.
Good dodge.
So Hammerstorm.
Pharaoh is level 1 here. He uses the wall of mummies as he's getting Hammer stunned up. A lot of damage coming. This is only level 2 on the Rift Walker. And that's a kill.
Very nice.
Not really a lot of damage from the Rift either. Just a level 1 Rift Burn.
It actually seems like, I mean, other than the mid lane, it seems like it's kind of going in the way of Hellborn currently. They're like the Silhouette is sitting on 250 GPM, whereas the Hammerstorm is sitting on 400 GPM only after 3 minutes. And the Prisoner is not really like actually having as much impact on the bot lane as I kind of expected him to have. They're actually doing really well.
Riptide and Kinesis are quite even in creep kills. Riptide's ahead by 2 last hits and 1 deny. Not much. He's gonna. He dodges the creep throws there with the undertow. Jumps away just in time. The shackle lands on the Lodestone. He has Rocket Shield down. He must have stunned in playing aggressively there and gets surprised by 3 players. Maybe didn't see the Prisoner. So overextends a little bit. Hasterin on the the Riptide. I can't get the zero names right. Forces the Kinesis back to base.
He did max out his Q on the Kinesis, so he did kind of follow the idea of just spamming Water Grave as you pointed out. I guess it's actually pretty good because you can kind of keep the Riptide slowed while you harass him.
It's actually pretty low mana cost too. Level 3, it's 105 for a 250 damage spell. I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah, and it also
has a pretty big mana pool.
Slows his attack speed as well, so the Riptide can't really trade attacks.
Oh, he gets hooked here as he lands the port. Does he have enough sustain to hold his ground? He doesn't. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Was the Prisoner was he smoked or was it just kind of?
I'm not sure actually. Silhouette almost dies here in the bot lane. They run out of spells and have to retreat here on Lodestone and Andro. Lodestone has a Rocket Drill in 8 seconds. Pretty long cooldown for a level 1 spell. The hook just barely misses on the load. Probably would have been a kill if he hit that.
this is not good. Now after that gang in the mid lane, suddenly it's looking really, really bad. Like Kinesis is sitting at 200 GPM, whereas the Riptide is almost 400 GPM. So
yeah, the constant threats of the prisoner with boots roaming to mid.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if he saw the last one when he TP, but either way, he gets hooked and forced him to walk back to base. Or sorry, walk back to lane, and he already had to do a walk back to base earlier in the game. So
yeah,
tough lane for Kinesis early on.
Although the hammer being almost 500 GPM at the 5-minute mark is really starting to look scary for the kill the
silhouette again. Second death. This lane actually does a lot more damage than I was expecting.
Lowstone has really high damage output early in the hedge match. It's a 250 damage mixed damage at level 2.
You should be getting that level 3 now, right? Yep, there we go. He skills at level 3.
When it says mixed damage, does it account for like both armor types before applying, or is it like just half the damage is one armor type, half the damage is the other armor type?
Oh, I just dropped my jaw. I have no idea. I just know it does like a little bit of everything. I don't know. I have no idea. That's the best answer I can give you. Prisoner misses the hook mid lane. Kinesis really wants that level 6. It's a couple creeps away. The Hammerstorm is having a pretty good time so far. Not really being bothered.
Big damage.
Silhouette is going to fall. Maybe she's turning around with just the cape up. It's gonna get it to proc. Trying to get the counter kill here on the Endro.
He actually the Unbreakable really heals for a lot.
That's a level 1 Unbreakable too.
Yeah, it healed him up to like 40% of his HP after he went into a critical HP range.
It gives him at least a flat value of 140 plus 3% of his HP at level 1. And that scales really nicely on the longer the game goes.
Yeah.
Suppose maybe it was his peel bomb maxed out level 3.
What did you say?
They're trying to bait here on the lodestone. The undertow is dodged here by the rocket drill, so they don't get the silence. Prisoner has to go for a Hail Mary. He hooks the Andro in the trees. Meanwhile, top lane, the Pharaoh dies to the hammer and the Riftwalker.
Wait, they might actually get...
Mass TPs are coming in. They do bring down the Andro. Lodestone's also going to die. Here comes the lift from Kinesis, lifting up Riptide. Hammer Stun comes in as well. Much needed kill on the Riptide. He was their top farmer. Brings him down to 310 gold per minute now. Now the Hammerstorm and the supporting caster down here in the bot lane. Can they kill him if they hook him into tower? Prisoner has no mana though currently. Oh, I would like to see him just go to base personally. Rift all these with the wormhole, but they're gonna turn it around. They didn't have the follow-up damage. Silhouette's manning up here. He is gonna fall. The Unbreakable was used. Kinesis charging through with the haste rune. It's a 4-man against the Demented Shaman. No chance. Double tap comes out for the Kinesis. And he's up to 326 gold per minute. He had such a bad early start, and he's more or less equal with the Riptide now in terms of GPM. Kills will do that. Get you back into the game.
Seems so. I mean, also the Riptide, I think he started rotating a little bit around the map instead of going for creep kills, so he's not really that far off of the Kinesis in terms of last hits now.
Prisoner hook dodged here by Kinesis. Riftwalker, no wormhole for 34 seconds.
And another issue is that the Pharaoh still like, I suppose he's just been farming his level 6, but he hasn't really participated in any kills at this point, so...
They're going for a dive here. Prisoner getting turned on. Pharaoh hooks on the Riftwalker. Prisoner gonna go down to the tower here. Riptide comes in for a counter kill on the Kinesis, and now Riftwalker is all by herself. Rocket Drill stuns up too though, saves the Riftwalker. Slow comes out, and Riptide now with the undertow down. Could possibly fall. He's trying to get himself to safety. He might kill them. Oh, does he have the range for the nuke? Oh, he gets fogged there. He does get it off, sacrifices himself. Probably the best choice he could make there with the situation to get a counter kill. And meanwhile, Hammerstorm pushes the top tower. And about a minute or so ago, when they were grouped up bot lane, they took out that tier 1 tower. So that's 2 towers now favoring Hellborn that they've taken out on the side lanes.
I would kind of like for the Hammerstorm just to rotate into the jungle now instead of. I don't really see the purpose in staying on the top lane. I suppose you can do one more creep wave, but I feel like the jungle is like somewhat stacked. I guess it's only one camp so far, but he is kind of a little bit exposed in the top lane. I guess it's really hard for them to actually pressure him right now. So it's not really that much danger after all.
Wow, the silhouette melts. She gets in with a wormhole.
They're really applying a lot
also lifted her. I guess they have no vision bottom from Legion, so he just got caught.
I don't think I've seen Steamboats and Kinesis actually ever, I think. Or at least not very often. I feel like it's pretty unusual to find that hero, but it's not bad by any means. So it's just...
Riptide gets caught by a rocket drill. There's the Comet stun. Oh, they have so much damage. Kinesis had the Death Lotus there. That's another 300 damage.
300? Yes, 300.
So, if you were playing the Kinesis, what boots would you have?
I think
Hook here on the Android. Sorry to cut you off. Good Salmon holding his ground here. Survives. They take out the Kinesis. Trade for the prisoner. Swap comes out on the silhouette. Oh, but a big Pharaoh wall. He's gonna hit 3 after following up with that hook. All of a sudden, he doesn't want to be in there anymore. They do lose the Demented Shaman. Pharaoh is forced to retreat. Oh, that looked silly.
Was
a really good hook, though. It saved the silhouette.
I think I mostly seen... I don't really play Kinesis myself a whole lot, but I think I've mostly seen Striders as well as the Ghost Masters in that hero. It's another fight going on right now.
Fair enough. Riptide has his Undertow down for 4 more seconds. Silhouette's here with Prisoner, trying to thwart them back. Has Loslim pretty tanky with that Talisman, but not enough to fight back 4 players.
They're too overconfident there. They're definitely doing a good job applying pressure, but I feel like they're not really that successful in trying to, like, you know, maximize the farm of the Hammerstorm. They're not really stacking at all. And you can kind of tell, you know, he was farming 500 GPM like 5 minutes ago, but he hasn't really increased his GPM ever since. So they're not really like kind of, how do I say?
He's not an Invis run here. He wants to continue up the pressure. He's not looking to farm. Might catch the Riptide here with a stun. There's a different piece. It's stacked stun a little bit.
Oh, they overlap.
That might be the difference, actually.
They definitely overlapped. I don't think the Kinesis had to stun ulti so early. I think she would have allowed to the stun for another second or so, which probably could have made a difference there.
Yep, I think the Andro or the Rift could have got in range as well for some nukes. Missed kill opportunity, but they're going to use this time to try to pressure the tower. And they decide to fall back.
I would like to see the Hellborn just just slightly valuing the Hammerstorm farm a little bit more, just by giving him a few stacks, because it's definitely something that would kind of excel his farm quite a bit, and then allow him to just take over the game by himself. In my opinion, I think they've done a really good job preventing the Silhouette from farming her items. So she's like definitely going to be, her farm speed is going to be really lacking compared to the Hammerstorm with his early start. So I'm kind of struggling to see how she'll be able to catch up if they just allow this Hammerstorm to quickly clear a lot of stacks. But that being
350 GPM.
Yeah, that being said,
got some stacks in the jungle. Pharaoh Hook comes in on the Kinesis. There's a swap though immediately from Andro. It's gonna sacrifice. Oh, he actually lives. They take out the Pharaoh rather quickly. Shadowstorm does miss.
Hammerstorm cancel his TP. He's pushing top lane now. He might pop his ultimate here and start pushing. I probably would pop my ultimate here and just try to.
Yeah, I think he could. He's got the catapult here. If he could keep the catapult alive, maybe. No, it's gonna fall.
I definitely think you just pop, like here. You probably just want to ulti and pop your Elder Parasite and just bring the tower. He could have brought the tower down to like 30% here or something, 20%.
Yeah, I think because the Pharaoh used ultimate, he should feel a little bit more safe to push. Yeah. Meanwhile, mid lane, there's a dive from the Riptide. He actually had Undertow up, so he didn't go in. Gets caught on the uphill though. Prisoner is getting dove here. Ace on the Riftwalker. He does pop the prison break and will not connect onto anyone. The Comet Stun takes him out. Ward comes in from Pharaoh, but without a hook for 22 more seconds. And Silhouette just looking to counter push the bot lane currently. Does use her Shadow. Try to speed this process up a little bit. Looks like he will be building the Null Stone. He swaps into the jungle to be a little bit more safe. And they give up the tier 1 tower in the mid lane. Will fall to creeps. And the lead grows to 11,000 gold and 4,800 experience. A lot of this on the Hammer Storm here as he's 540 GPM. He probably finished the Twin Blades. I think he's got it delivered.
Yeah, I think he did. Nice.
Pretty good.
Yeah, very standard item route. I like it. It's
Do you go PK now, or do you go straight into Shrunken so you're just able to...
I think I would go Shrunken here, but I don't think it's like particularly wrong to go PK. I just feel like it's more like the safer option just to get the Shrunken here.
He did kill the Kinesis mid lane. He was actually pushed up quite far.
But that being said, like sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
That being said, they don't really have that many heroes where Shrunken is like super crucial. You could even just consider just going for like a Frostwolf or something and just running them down. Like if you look at the heroes, they don't really have that many. I think I actually just prefer just going for a Frostwolf. Then you can just run down with his team, honestly. Yeah.
I mean, what spells does the Shrunken really prevent?
Exactly. It's maybe like a
slow from the Riptide, the Hellfire.
Little one Hellfire, you know. It's very limited.
A
Maybe
Silhouette. Not really the most threatening. Most of her damage is physical right clicks.
I feel like if you just come running with a Frostwolf at like minute 20 or something with 21, it's gonna be really hard to fight against too.
I have a feeling we'll see Shrunken, but I am not opposed to your idea of a Frostwolf Skull. I'm also not opposed to the idea of a Portal Key. And we're going to have a fight here. As Riptide jumps in, silences two. They're going to get the quick kill onto the Riftwalker. Counter jump here from the Lodestone with the Portal Key. He's going to hit the Shatterstorm onto nobody, actually. He's not going to be needed because 2 players already died. And now Silhouette is on the chase. I don't know how she makes it out of this one. Let's try to see if she can juke in the trees here. Maybe get a tree grapple. There's a Lodestone PK. He's got Rocket Drill up in 1 more second. The Silhouette is unfortunately going to fall. Not really a whole lot he could do there. It was looking like a good jump from the Legion side. They silenced 2 at the start, but the counter was just better.
Yeah.
There was, I think Pharaoh wasn't there in range, and the Shaman perhaps also wasn't there. So just another numbers advantage for Hellborn.
I think the Hammerstorm actually hurt me. I think he's gonna buy an Icebrand right here.
There's enough gold for a PK or an Icebrand.
Or just gonna right click a Shrunken when he has the gold for it, and not care about the Hellfire level 1 Hellfire. Or the slow.
Tier 1 tower mid lane's being pressured. Here comes a Riftwalker, ultimate being channeled that hits onto the Riptide. There is a cape coming out from the Diminished Shaman. Doesn't have meta for any heals. He will get healed up, but he's still stunned there in place. He will fall. No lift from the Kinesis for 20 seconds, but there's the slows. Tablets gets tableted forward by the Riftwalker. Silhouette trying to go for a counter kill, just swap out into the background. Pulls from the Riftwalker, pull in the Demented Shaman, he falls. Shatterstorm hits onto the Pharaoh. Do they have vision of him? Yeah, they do. Hammer's here. Swings down his hammer and he brings him down. 5 for 1 trade. They only get the Andromeda.
It's looking really scary for the Legion side here. Definitely going to struggle to deal with this Hammerstorm. I actually don't think they have any way to deal with this Hammerstorm as it currently stands. Like both Riptide and Silhouette are not like heroes, at least at the current state, that are actually like have any sort of way to deal with the Hammerstorm. So it's definitely going to be a challenge to overcome this gold deficit that they're currently experiencing. So
16,000 gold lead at 19 minutes. Pretty tough. Lodestone jumps in with a rocket drill here. Riptide getting perma held down, gets lifted up in the air.
Hammerstorm is going down.
Jump away. And Hammerstorm getting held down by the shackle. Gets swapped out at the last second from Andromeda. She stuns in on the Demented Shaman, but the team is in retreat mode. As the Lodestone is low as well. The Riftwalker with low mana. And they're going to be pretty happy if they lose no casualties here. Riftwalker does get hooked. Maybe could go for a TP. Oh, he's going to run into Pharaoh. He's dead.
He bought a Shrunken. But
he's boring.
Yeah, I don't think.
Boo! Thumbs down for Hammer. He bought Shrunken.
How could you do this to us? Actually,
why would you do this in a 5th game of a finals? How dare you?
Actually, I genuinely don't think it's like that good right here, but because they're just like predominantly physical, as you pointed out in the drafting stage. But I mean, I guess it's still a Shrunken.
It's
like
the
it.
safe route. We'll just call it safe.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
gonna
they might
find
kind of
Silhouette
slow
here with the smoke. Oh boy, Silhouette. Oh my god!
Yeah,
A twin blade hit there just took him from 40% to 0.
Yeah, she is. She's gonna just experiencing this
Oh
trophy
man,
game.
3 shots to creep wave. That's a lot of damage.
The Legion have destroyed a Hellborn tower.
Riptide gets the mid tower while this was happening. He's tanking the tower, feeling pretty confident here. We'll back up a bit. The brute strength wore off. How does that last for? That's actually 30 seconds. That was a pretty fast 30 seconds.
Get back here!
Hammer gets hooked here. He's in a pretty aggressive spot. Pops the Shunkin, gets a 2-man stun. Pharaoh in the background distracting 2 players. They do bring down the Riptide as Lodestone helps secure that kill. They also get the prisoner, and then Pharaoh was fighting I think the supporting cast. He goes down as well. And Silhouette and Shaman just have to kind of watch their tier 2 tower fall. They can't really defend that.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like it might be the last push of the series here.
Hammer picked up a portal key being delivered to him on his courier now.
It's the full package now. They want to end this game right here. It seems like Silhouette might just drop here. Oop. Yeah.
She's dead.
This is looking like it is GG. We have a winner.
700 GPM Hammer Storm.
Get back here!
We're gonna finish this one out. A little anticlimactic, but they brought the brute strength, pun intended, to game number 5, and they took this one pretty handedly. Game 5 and the finals of the series, and the final series will go to Hmnos Yaipen. They are the champion here of the HoN FoC tournament number 1. Congratulations to them.